Hello, in this video I'm going to describe how to make a simple diagram for a board. This laptop charger needs fixing, but I couldn't find its schematic in the internet. But accidentally I found a diagram which is very similar to this charger in a YouTube video. The similarity is obvious by the similar elements and units which have been used in both diagram and board. For example, this transformer which is look like this one, the power MOSFET here, which is similar to this power MOSFET, and switching mode power rectifiers. It is very similar to this one, and 431 with 3 pin, which is very similar to this one. For better view, I take a picture from the board, this one, and also 870 with 4 pin, which is located here. It is behind the capacitor here. And this this unit, which is a little different from this one. In this schematic, it has 8 pin, but in my board it has 6 pins. So I took a picture from that diagram in the video, and then edited it by Photoshop. In fact, I used Magic Wizard to clear the gray background color and also increase the contrast to increase clarity of lines and elements like this. And then I clean the names of elements. On the diagram. Then I printed the diagram, and I am trying to find the element on the board. I have printed this before. I printed it, and I want to find the elements on the board. In order to identify the elements and their pins, it could be great if we start from the units. For example, I started from power MOSFET, which its G, S, and D pins are identified easily. These pins are easily identified here, and here. Very easy. You can find the pins by referring to data sheets of the this MOSFET. You can easily find GDS, which are here, GDS, or switch mode power rectifier here by referring to the data sheet. The this rectifier, you can find 1, 2, 3, the numbers of its pins. So I can find it easily here, 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. Or by finding 430 on the board, you can easily identify the pin, P1, pin number 2, and pin number 3. Comparing this one, 1, 2, 3. And finding 870 on the board, which are here. These ones are pins number 1 and number 2 of 470, and these ones are number 4, number 3, and number 4. As I said, 870 is located under the capacitor backside the board. And also the transformer, this transformer, which we can find its pin here, this one, and these ones, and this one. All these pins are easily identified on the board, and with these identified pins and using multimeter, we are able to trace other elements, including resistors and capacitors, and complete my printed diagram. For example, there is a capacitor here, which is called C5, and by take a look at this diagram, we find this is C5 because it's located nearby pin 3 and pin 4 of 870. This is for a pin and for pin 3 and pin 4 of the 870 next part, which is this one. And this diode or this capacitor C7, which connects to pin number 2 of unit 3, is this one. So this is C7, and I can write down C7 here, C7 and C5, and try to find another units and on the board. For consider this diode D1, which is near the pin D of or MOSFET. This must be this one. So this is D1, and I write down here D1 on the paper. Oh, this resistor, which has connected to the sense pin of unit 1. Sense pin of unit 1. This is R7. So I write down R7 here in this page. Here, R7. And by tracing the other elements which has connected to R7, I try to find and complete this resistor. I try to check this resistor by multimeter. This is a sense pin of unit 1. This is O7. These resistors could be this one, this one. And as we can see, the other line has gone to the source pin of or MOSFET. By this method, we try to find other elements on the board. Okay. I have traced and identified the elements on the board. And as you can see, there are some elements on the diagram which have not used in the board, so I can remove them, like this resistor or this capacitor, this resistor, and this resistor. There are some elements which has not used in this board, and I can remove them from the diagram. I can edit my diagram, something like this. As you can see, some elements has removed, some lines has been added, and I edited the diagram. While I was tracing the elements on the board, I tried to identify the pins and the units on the board, like this. And I determined the direction of diodes here according to the diagram. So this image can help us to find out easily the pins of some units. And as I said before, wiring has slightly changed here because we have 2263 6 pin instead of 2269 8 pins here. So I edited the picture as I said before, and I have changed the schematic. And as you can see here, the pins, for example, S, D, and G pins are identified. Pin number 1, 2, and 3 of unit 3 has identified, and some other units, transformer, for example, transformer output has identified here these pins, and these pins also identified here T1 out plus T1 out minus are these ones. T1 unit 1 input plus, and this must be minus. I made a mistake here. T1 1 input minus. These pins plus and minus input, or these ones, T1 2 input plus, T1 2 input minus are these ones, and other pins I have determined. Also, I identified the main lines on the board, including the grounds and the positive line and the other line. The ground, earth, and body are here. This one, and the earth line, which located here. Positive line is red one. Transformer out plus. This line, feedback. This line, which comes to the unit 1, T1 input 1 and 2. Second of these ones, gate. This ones, which has connected to the our MOSFET, and other lines are identified here, which help us to troubleshoot. After that, I can measure the voltage of some points, including output voltage and the CY1, which first pin is here and the second pin is here. U2 pins, which one pins are here, is here, and another pins is here. These two pins. And U3, these pins and these pins, pin number 1 and pin number 12, U3, we can uh, measure the voltage by multimeter and register it. Now I'm ready to design my customized service schematic document for myself. I have already created my service schematic. However, if you have an oscilloscope, then you will be able to get a waveform of voltage in some vital points, including sense or gate or feedback pins, or for example, S and gate pins or input and output of transformers, which make our table better and helpful for troubleshooting. However, this one is enough for me to troubleshoot the similar charger. I have named the units here. Component finder I've defined here. For example, if you want to find U2, it is on the or side 2 D2. D2 are here behind the capacitor, or for example R8 side 1 G2 G2 R8. I have added the line map here, and this one, and the measured voltage from the healthy charger. However, this can be useful to troubleshooting the charger which has problem.